Heated debate in Parliament over proposed Gold Refinery. Governor Ipatas insists PNG seek help. And businessman Jamie Pang pleads guilty to firearm charges.
This is National MTV News with Helen Seah.
Good evening and thanks for joining us for Friday's news. The debate on the government's proposal for a gold refinery in the country has copped heavy criticism in Parliament after it was signed at Government House recently. There were heated exchanges in Parliament today as Abao MP Chuka Sport questioned Prime Minister James Marape on the processes involved in the deal. The Prime Minister said it is not a new agenda and that government is trying to enable greater benefits for Papua New Guinea.
Let me say this, Mr. Speaker.
After some debate on the gold refinery issue yesterday in Parliament, with Prime Minister James Marape explaining the government's rationale behind it, there has been aggressive responses from the opposition and extractive resource industry professionals. And in today's question time session, Abao MP Chuka Sport triggered a heated debate by stating that government has not followed the right procedures in executing the deal, criticizing the Prime Minister for creating a cart before the horse scenario.
The question to our Honourable Prime Minister is, what has been the government's understanding of these very strict protocols that are embedded in this industry, and therefore the government choice of a company and an agreement signed? I understand that the government made the head of state to sign this agreement. But yesterday, the Prime Minister downplayed and therefore, in our view, misinformed this Honourable House.
The Abao MP, who in the past served in the same cabinet as James Marape under the O'Neill government, said proper processes have not been followed and no proper consultation has been done with the head of state already signing.
That when an agreement is signed by a head of state, try plus something, can come to the floor of Parliament now, or agreement also, we will relook at it.
PM Marape in response explained that this is not a new agenda, stating that there was an NEC decision on it back in 2014. However, Marape said his government is aiming to get a better deal for the country and that other stages of the process will be done and is open to comments and input from relevant authorities, particularly those in the extractive resources sector.
Mr. Speaker, I said, "Oi kamunayo," meaning he was present for some time. There was a cabinet in 2014 of which he was very part of. Cabinet decision number 297 of 2014 approved this investor, approved this process, gave certain indication as to what will be the template of the agreement that the nation must enter upon.
Chuka raised numerous points of order, interrupting the Prime Minister as he tried his best to explain. This resulted in Deputy Speaker Koni Iguan advising Chuka that he wouldn't be allowed to raise any more points of order. This was followed by heated exchanges in relation to the gold refinery deal, as well as related resource projects in previous governments.
We are in the business of adding value to our resources, all spectrum of resource, all sector of resource. And I'm happy that you are detached on the other side because you don't share the same mindset as I have for the country. Mr. Speaker, the proper doing is taking place, it's taking its course. Not like PNG, LNG, where you are bulldozing at the expense of landowners, where I have to deal with the legacy of landowners today, Mr. Speaker. Don't talk about do it properly when you bloody don't know how to do it properly.
Dennis Orere, National MTV News.
Minister for Environment, Conservation and Climate Change, Wera Mori, joined the debate on the proposed Gold Refinery deal. A geologist by profession, the minister maintains that PNG stands to benefit from a gold refinery in light of the global gold industry.
We must understand that many economies today that are very, very powerful, like the United States of America, China is building its reserve, and other economies. Their economy is strengthened by the strength of the gold bullion that they have in stock, and no one should make any mistake about this. This proposal is a noble proposal. If we would like to basically see the actual and looking to the future, it's going to provide opportunity to Papua New Guinea to, in fact, address some of its own situations and problems regarding its economic development. I'd like to basically draw the attention of all of us here in this parliament to the fact that gold, being a precious metal and commodity with intrinsic value, is a finite resource, meaning that it is it's an extractive industry which has got limited resource base. It is very dangerous, and I would not want to think in the next 30 years my grandchildren, whether I'm still alive or in the grave, to be turning in my grave when they curse me, that when I was a member of parliament, I would have done the right thing, and that is that to ensure that Papua New Guinea must have its own gold bullion reserve to back up its economy.
And Governor Sir Peter Ipatas says the role of security forces in the country has always been questionable. He was referring to the role police and PNG Defence play during national general elections. Sir Peter expressed the need to seek help from development partners to ensure people freely vote and for elections to run without security issues.
Speaking in Parliament this morning, the Enga governor raised concerns surrounding the work of security forces during national elections. He says this has been an issue in every election. Sir Peter said not even one election has been declared fair and safe.
Now I want to know who in this house will tell me that in the past elections, our security force carry out display work security straight. It's always been compromised. You mean let him all display line come and halibim, build him up capacity. Give him all opportunity long. Online election good. Long display parliament, you mean talk give him opportunity all merry long vote. How by whole vote suppose you mean no control him law now they're good?
He went on giving arrangements done during the APEC summit in 2018. Stating similar security options can be done for development partners to assist boost our security forces. Ipatas says this is one option the government can utilize.
Underneath the APEC all karimol, all foreign troops come to leader. One kind you may apply him this la same law. Try him kisimol. Australian police na New Zealand police. Lokamna. Come as early as January. All can help him, you me. Long look sabe long one can area. You got potential long back in election here.
Earlier this week, Prime Minister James Marape announced that the 2022 national elections will not be deferred. He says the government will provide necessary funding to support the election. The Enga governor says the security problem must be fixed for people to exercise their democratic right during the election of national leaders.
But the important message that I'm trying to continuously get across to our parliament and our country is that if we get law and order right, everything will go right in this country, including the economy. You fix him law and order now, all man, the police, all the ground will stop, all kaya stop. What are long kissing fish? This is a unique, blessed country. Straight in, security belong all man. That's our number one role here.
Jack Lopava Jr., National EMTV News.
West New Britain Governor Sasindran Muthuvel demanded answers in Parliament today over reports collected by the Electoral Boundary Commission in the last 6 months. He said EBC officers have done an extreme effort with consultations with provinces for new electoral boundaries. Governor Muthuvel directed his question to Intergovernment Relations Minister Pila Ningi, asking whether the reports will be tabled in Parliament in the November sitting or not.
Mr. Speaker, me like Savita Sololse, Mimi, Salim Go Kamal Electoral Boundaries Commission team, triple time, 4 time, go all gata provinces na districts. Not to emi create him some kind false hope lo people also this la additional electorate and by come up before 2022. Yanap emi minister clarify him whether through imi by bringing this la Electoral Boundaries Commission report he come inside lo Parliament na imi by debate imi no got opportunity lo this la term. Thank you.
Electoral Boundaries Commission. I understand the Electoral Boundaries Commission is ready, and hopefully next week or week after they will present their report, and then we can debate on it.
Bad odor produced by a fish cannery factory in Medang is affecting nearby communities. Sumkar MP Chris Nangoy said this has polluted the good air in the area. MP Nangoy questioned the Environment Minister if his department can look into this issue and provide better solutions.
This is a bad odor or bad smell. Blow time only cannibal fish in all this plant. Minosa also working this labat also larem na iron lo waran na go inside lo solora. No this smell sagol or man meri lo siar online stuff lo matupi in all this lab smell saximi bla. Even this la kind smell too lo labor you be smell him. Lo malan besta sa emitting all this smell. So mino clear. Awesome. God and working me lo imi breathing oxygen good la air. Ino blo imi breathing this la air. So, Minister for Environment Conservation, me listen to ask him you.
The fish cannery in Medang Ardi Tuna would be governed by a specific environmental permit, and based on his questions, I'll basically find out to the status of the permit and what are the limits, and has there been any follow-up investigations conducted to establish the activities of the tunnery as far as if they are disposing some of those unwanted fish products that they have caught.
You're watching National EMTV News. We'll have more stories after these short messages. Stay with us. Welcome back. An interest group made up of Hela and Enga landowners is serious about embarking on a gas-to-power business. The man leading more than 200 power pylon landowners from the two provinces, Alfred Nelson, says the company has already been registered for this purpose. They plan to put forward their interest to the government during the Pogera Development Forum next week.
Following the group's first conference last week, the man leading the 214 power pylon landowners spoke of the progress in his group's push for the power supply business.
We can't continue to give it to advertise. We can't continue to be spectators on our land and other businesses do business on our land. So this presents us an opportunity where when Prime Minister of our country to his coalition partners, when they took back Pogra, we knew all along that we are taking back power supply business in Pogra. And it eventually landed, and today we have organized ourselves, so we have formed registered a company. We have registered this company, and this company, the shareholders of the proposal of the company, we have registered at 214 power pylon landowners are direct shareholders of this company.
For years, they claim they have watched as the power pylons on their land carry gas-fired power from Hela into Enga to power the mine operations.
We have been getting security payments and leasement fees. The structure is there. So when this company established, nothing will go wrong. When we declare dividends, it will directly run down to the people. Those 214 power pylons will benefit directly. It will not go to any other third or fourth parties. It will go down to the people. So this is taking back resources, empowering our people to be independent on their own land, giving them business opportunities. So that's what we're looking at now.
Frontman Alfred Nelson says he and his group plan to put forward their interests to the government during the development forum.
The commercial agreement between Oil Chase and ExxonMobil on the power purchase agreement will expire. When that expires on the 23rd of December, we don't want any temporary arrangements. I know they will go ahead and say Exxon Oil Chase will continue to operate until such time when everybody will be ready. We will not allow that. We will not allow that. What we're going to tell them is tell us now. When it expires on that day, tell us now. We own this one. If Oil Chase wants to operate, they must operate as an operator or management company. We will pay them. We will own it. We have 30 million for GTE program that GTE Power Pylon landowners, that 30 million, the decision number 2000, that decision, energy decision 2011 they made. They've allocated 20 million kina for GTE. That money is there. We will use that money for our equity business in this power supply contract.
Bradley Valenaki, National EMTV News.
The Group Operations Manager at the Sanctuary Hotel Resort and Spa, Jamie Pang, has pleaded guilty to all 11 charges against him. He appeared at the Boroko District Court this morning.
The operations manager at the Sanctuary Hotel Resort and Spa, Jamie Pang, has been slapped with 11 charges relating to the possession of unlicensed firearms and ammunition. Mr. Pang appeared in court today and pleaded guilty to all 11 charges. The charges relate to possession of firearm without license, possession of firearm, and possession of live ammunition. Being in possession of an unlicensed firearm and ammunition is considered a minor criminal offence, hence the appearance of Mr. Pang at the Boroko Summary Court. In PNG, one can own a weapon and have ammunition, but the law requires that the person has a license. The police also found in a hotel room at the Sanctuary Hotel where Mr. Pang is the operations manager a makeshift laboratory producing methamphetamine. Methamphetamine is classified globally as an illegal drug in the same class as cocaine and other powerful street drugs. PNG police, however, cannot charge Pang of being in possession of this drug.
We cannot slap charges on the perpetrator because we don't have a legislation. But we found at the same time in his possession a number of firearms and ammunition that were unlicensed, and he was slapped with 11 charges in total for being in possession of unlicensed firearms and unlicensed ammunition.
Pang has the right to bail and will apply for bail when the matter returns to court next week, Wednesday. He is still remanded at the Boroko police station. Shamin Porambab, National EMTV News.
A combined investigation involving immigrations, customs and police found a makeshift methamphetamine laboratory at the Sanctuary Hotel in Port Moresby. This was months of investigation where assistance was also provided by Australia and the US.
Months of investigation has led to the discovery of a methamphetamine laboratory at a hotel room at the Sanctuary Hotel in Port Moresby.
Operation Saki Bomb actually began in June of this year. It is a collaboration between international agencies, and it all began in the United States when Homeland Security or Homeland investigators in Washington identified as a consignment destined for Papua New Guinea and advised the Australian Federal Police Office in Washington that there was a consignment for Papua New Guinea containing methamphetamine.
Methamphetamine is classified globally as an illegal drug in the same class as cocaine and other powerful street drugs. Methamphetamine, or meth, is a synthetic stimulant that is addictive and can cause considerable health adversities that can sometimes result in death. In this police video, Yamasombi is standing with the operations manager of Sanctuary Hotel, Jamie Pang, after executing a police warrant on the hotel. Pang explains to Yamasombi that it looks like him doing all this, being his hotel, but if police knew the truth behind it all, there is a lot bigger things in play. Yamasombi simply asks him to collaborate with the police to tidy the mess.
On the 16th of November, we executed another search warrant on the Sanctuary Hotel in Port Moresby and arrested the operations manager of that hotel. We found in his hotel room a mini clandestine lab that he was using to produce methamphetamine.
But unfortunately, the police cannot charge Pang for this bust, with Yamasombi describing it as a slap on the face for police.
The effects of methamphetamine are very dangerous. Because we do not have legislations to deal with such illicit substances, it makes our job very, very hard. And for this team, I believe it's a slap in the face for us to, in the history of the RPNGC, to disrupt a clandestine lab, and yet we cannot slap charges on the perpetrator because we don't have a legislation.
Pang, however, was charged and is in police custody for being in possession of unlicensed firearms and ammunition. He appeared in court this morning and pleaded guilty to all 11 charges. Shamin Poriambeb, National EMTV News.
And now looking at the NASFund market report, the Kina closed unchanged at $0.2850 in the interbank markets. At Bank South Pacific, your Kina is buying $0.2775 US, $0.3775 Australian dollars, $0.2361 euro, and 31.11 Japanese yen. Looking at commodity prices at New York closed, gold is trading higher, coffee closed lower, cocoa and copra closed higher. Crude oil is trading higher, palm oil and copper closed lower. And on the stock market, the Dow Jones closed lower, the ASX 200 is trading higher, and the All Ordinaries is trading higher. National EMTV News continues with more stories after these messages. Stay with us. Welcome back to the news. The coordinator of the WASH program in PNG, Takale Tuna, says discussions on proper toilets must be taken seriously in the country. Today is World Toilet Day.
Long Papua New Guinea, planti yumi olman lo place yumi sa less lo tok lo pekpeka, but yumi sa also pekpek sa kirapim sika.
Yeah.
So now time long time na open up na tok long like lo PNG tasol all gata around the world la. All taboo subject because lo custom sem believe yumi sampla believe yumi all sem suppose speaking ini pek lo same toilet one time adult by no come up sabe man intelligent man sampla believe lo sampla up lo country all believe all same suppose you pek around in village and you protecting village long all travel about now all all biru able yumi so subject taboo you muna sa tok long so now long Friday and World Toilet Day UN Assembly allocating this la day lo yumi start tok lo important lo toilet lo life lo yumi.
Amidst COVID-19 challenges in Western Province, schools have been progressing well during this academic year. One such school is the St. Gabriel Technical Secondary School in Kyunga, North Fly District. Run by the Catholic Education Agency, it has over 600 student population. The school is supposed to have its 21st grade 10 and 11th grade 12 graduation ceremonies respectively today, but due to advice from Education Minister issued on November 8th stating no graduation ceremonies, has cancelled its graduation. Brother Johnson Chaco, the school principal, congratulated 153 grade 10 students and 127 grade 12 students graduating in absentia, saying students should continue to strive for excellence.
Congratulations to them for achieving another milestone in their life, and this is not the end, it's a beginning of another level of their life. And most of them have done very well and they put a lot of effort. We congratulate the students and the family for the great support to the students for doing that. This year, unfortunately, we couldn't organize the graduation due to COVID-19. Otherwise, we planned to have the graduation, and the theme chose was educated for a sustainable world. Educated for a sustainable world.
Chuka Sport is next. All the details after the break.
Chuka Sport.
Welcome to Chuka Sports. Midweek matches for the Southern Super League kicked off today at the Moresby South Stadium. The matches tested the fitness and condition of players. Huxley Levi reports.
The Money Plus NCDC Vipers Academy team have returned to their winning ways with a thumping 40-4 victory over the Rigo Raiders in round 7 of the Southern Super League. The Vipers showed their class as they dominated the Raiders in all aspects of the game, resulting in the comfortable win.
Yeah, the team spirit, camaraderie, everything is there. I think most of the boys are going to get a call up to the main squad for Vipers, so that's really good. That's the way we're trying to build up for the team and then bring new boys in, send them up, bring new boys in, send them up, so there's a developmental pathway there for boys to explore their talent. So I think it's really good. Most of the boys are really looking forward to the season. I think we're going to give it a really good run and we might come out victorious in the end, so who knows? Only time will tell.
Most teams are still getting back to their full match fitness following the suspension of the competition for several weeks. The Vipers Academy team have shown to be better equipped in dealing with the challenging conditions, having maintained a strict training program during the break.
The coaching staff did a really good job of keeping the boys together. Although we had a long layover and then due to COVID and the season stopped, but we managed to keep the boys tight. We trained every single day of the week. Coming after a long break, I think the muscles were really sore and we started to pick up as we went.
Huxley Levi, Chuka Sports.
SPPNG Hunters coach Matthew Church today announced that 32 players have been named in the SPPNG Hunters train-on squad. The team is already in training for the chance to make it into the 2022 team that will take part in the Queensland Intra Super Cup.
The SPPNG Hunters are set for pre-season training with the announcement of 32 players today that have made the final list for pre-season training. Hunters coach Matthew Church says that there are 12 players who have been picked from the Digicel Cup season this year, while the rest of the team is made up of returning players from this year's season.
No, at this stage we're just looking at the 32. If we find some that aren't where we need them to be, then we will certainly look for other people. But at this stage we'll give those 32 an opportunity.
The team is set to assemble here in Port Moresby, where they will train until January and then relocate to Australia in preparation for the 2022 Queensland Intra Super Cup season.
The training's already started, so all the 12 new guys, and we have some of the returning players returned last Friday. So we trained this week, and all of the remaining players arrive in Palm today. So we will train here until the end of January and then relocate.
Fidelis Sukina, Chuka Sports.
And that ends Chuka Sports. There were the details after the break.
Chuka Sport. Chuka Sports.
This weather update is proudly brought to you by MoneyPlus, with you always.
I'll look at the weather forecast for tonight and tomorrow, becoming partly cloudy with a few showers possible in the Port Moresby. Cloudy periods with a few squally showers and possible thunderstorms in Daru. Partly cloudy with a few showers in Kerema, Alatau and Popondetta. Cloudy periods with some showers right across the Mamasa region in Lae, Midang, Wewak and Whanimo. In the New Guinea Islands region, partly cloudy with brief showers in Lorengau, Kavieng, Kokopo, Rabaul and Buka. Cloudy with some showers and possible thunderstorms in Kimbe. And in the Highlands region, partly cloudy with some showers and possible thunderstorms in Mount Hagen, Mendi and Wabeg, and partly cloudy with a few showers in Goroka and Kundiawa. There is a renewal strong wind warning current for all inland areas and coastal waters of southern PNG Indonesian border through Torres Strait to Daru and Kiwai Islands, through Gulf of Papua to Yule Island and Hood Point to Samari Islands, including the Coral Sea. Fresh to strong east to southeast wind surges of 20 to 34 knots with stronger gusts of 48 knots are expected to continue over the next 24 hours, causing rough to very rough seas. All small crafts and boats are advised to take necessary precautions before going out to sea, especially in the warning areas. Forecast for small crafts for the next 24 hours. Waters of southern PNG Indonesian border through Torres Strait and Daru to Kiwai Islands and Kerema to Yule Island and Hood Point to Samari Island, seas of 2 to 3 meters. Waters of Samari Islands to Cape Vogel and eastern and western Milne Bay Islands, including waters of Finschhafen through Vitiaz and Dampier Straits to Siasi and Long Islands, seas of 1 to 2 meters. Waters north of Cape Vogel through Huon Gulf to Finschhafen, seas of 0.5 to 1.3 meters. Waters north of Long Island to Medang and Wewak to Whanimo and northern PNG Indonesian border, and with waters of Manus and its western group of island, seas of 0.5 to 1 meter. Waters of New Ireland to New Britain and Bougainville, seas of 0.5 to 1.5 meters. Look at the ocean forecast. The PNG areas in the Coral Sea. Seas rough to patches rough with east to southeasterly winds at 25 to 34 knots, reaching up to 48 knots. In the Solomon Sea, seas slight with northeast to northwest winds at 10 to 15 knots. In the Bismarck Sea, seas slight with northeast to northwest winds of 10 to 15 knots, and in the Pacific Ocean, seas smooth with northeast to easterly winds at 5 to 10 knots.
The weather update was proudly brought to you by MoneyPlus, with you always.
And that's been the news, sport and weather for Friday, 19th November 2021. Until next time, pleasant viewing, be safe, bye for now.